Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Trap Draw podcast. I'm here with my associate, the esteemed Mr. Big Randy. Sir.
Yeah, hello, TC. Thank you, Mr. Jeezy. 2 weeks in a row here, TC. We got a lot of ground to cover still. Excited to be back with you. What else is going on? Just kind of a rainy, gray day today out here in Denver. In the midst of, we're kind of like low 90s. It's turned to summer out here for us.
Low 90s, low humidity though,
Yeah,
overall.
low humidity, but definitely getting hot.
It's V hot here and V humid. Had some great storms rolling through though. Just
That's nice.
epic thunder and lightning and just those pop-up 4 to 5 p.m. Nice big boomers. So
I heard you saying are you a lightning guy or a thunder guy? Which one do you prefer?
I mean, I love them both, but I was
Of
telling
course.
Deej, I think thunder may need to be added to the list of things that are sick. Like, lightning is pretty, it seems pretty straightforward, whereas thunder's kinda got my brain in a pretzel.
Yeah, thunder doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I think I'm with you. I'm more I I think I'm more commonly a thunder guy, but man, if you catch like a real bolt that you
Yeah.
actually see, like that's sweet. That's cool.
I was
I
talking to
remember
Lou Turner, he was saying that, he thinks that the lightning storms, at least around here, are stronger here recently than they have been,
wow.
in years past, so, he can't prove it,
A
but
mystery for our new chief meteorologist.
yeah, yeah. So,
I was gonna say I used to remember like the storms out when you would kind of look out across out into the ocean. Man, if you saw lightning striking out the lake, that was just really cool. I Yeah, storms are storms are sweet.
weather just in general is cool.
Yeah,
I dig it.
yeah, yeah.
So, we'll run a show today. We've got, of course, mea culpas, a little bit of
Of course.
housekeeping. We'll run through some life stuff. We just, last week was mainly monitoring focused. We can run through some life stuff. We do have some monitoring today, stuff that's popped up here in the last 5, 6 days, of course. And then we've got a lot of air travel, a little bit of logistics, and then some sports. Randy, does that
There,
sound good?
there it is. There it is. That sounds great. Should we start with the mea culpa? Should we thank our friends at ServPro?
I think so. I think so. It's I heard they're the number one brand in cleanup and restoration. I think your friend's family used them.
Yeah, shout out my friend Chris Flip, his parents. Which I'm sorry, but I guess their AC was leaking and was all up in their attic. They called ServPro. I guess they asked the specific technicians if they knew Big Randy, and they did not. So, but yeah, we're glad they're using ServPro. We're not glad that they have to use ServPro, but when you do need cleanup and restoration, we're glad that we know who to call. TC.
Yeah, hopefully they'll make it like that mess with the AC never even happened. Or they called 1-800 Serve Pro or they visited servpro.com. I would be
I'm not
curious
sure which, but you
which
can do
one.
either. Yeah. At 2,200 locations nationwide. We don't want to mess that
Faster,
up either.
faster than any size disaster. Randy, not a lot of mea culpas, just a couple. The bridge that I referenced last week, it's in Raleigh. It's not in Durham.
Okay.
A little bit ticky tack, but I think I,
Yeah.
I think it's fair. Two different cities, even though they often get lumped in
Sure.
together. And it's the Peace Street Bridge. If anybody is interested, just go to YouTube and just type in Peace Street Bridge Raleigh, and you'll see all sorts of uh, you know, box trucks just getting their domes blown off. It's pretty sick. So I think there's another one down in Australia. A couple of people sent through too.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen a few of them. People trying to claim that they have one in their city.
Yeah.
Would that it's a good call out though. I feel like yeah, Raleigh Durham they always are together, but I'm sure if you live in Raleigh proper, you want that distinction. So we are happy to give that to them.
Yeah. And then people were honest. I shouldn't say people. One person was honest for is it Macron?
I thought it was Macron, but is that not right?
I thought that was right.
This is
Macron pronunciation.
this is
So
again the refs are calling this tight. I feel like a bit ticky tack here.
I
TC.
agree. I agree. So, yeah, and then somebody on X, the Everything app, earlier was calling you out for calling her Ataya Titacoom and not Titacoon. But again, I
Oh,
think
yeah, I have no idea. Sure, I'll apologize. Yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
again, that's golf related. So
Coom to Coon, yeah, sure.
yeah, yeah. But thanks to ServPro, we cleaned those up. There may still be a mess on some of those though. Housekeeping wise, we've been efforting THG. We need some sort of US men's national team soccer update. It sounds like things are in complete disarray with Coach Parm and Pulisic and
Yeah, what is he calling out the players? THG thinks that so the Kingslayer, who was THG's choice to lead the US men's national team, I guess he got hired by Saudi Arabia. The US plays Saudi Arabia. I think
the
coming up,
Princes.
THG said they're just gonna dog walk the Americans. It's not gonna be good. We'll keep an eye on that. But you're right. We're overdue for a THG hit. He's playing a little bit of hardball. The last thing he was threatening to buy out NLU with his Bitcoin holdings. He's just a mess. But we'll try to track him down.
He's pissed that we haven't sent him any row back
That's
either.
true. And which is a
We
little
we
fair. We
do.
should send him a care package.
I got his sizing, so,
Okay,
we
we'll
can
make
send him
that right.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Randy, I'm pleased to offer up a bathroom update from BWI. I don't know if you
Okay.
remember this, but I think they this is like from maybe a year and a half ago. They won the Cintas America's Best Bathroom Award.
Um,
BWI Thurgood Marshall International Airport.
Okay.
And so I finally I flew through there here recently, and
Hmm.
Cody and I can both confirm that good bathrooms, good bathrooms. I think consistent throughout. Not quite as good as your new ones in Denver,
Oh
but
my gosh,
that's
those new
only
ones in Denver. But
yeah,
yeah,
you walk in, you see outside, it's
of
nice and
course.
airy and floor to ceiling
Yeah.
windows and all that stuff. Plenty of space. So, it seems like Denver's kind of picked up the baton, but obviously there's only so many of those in Denver. There's still a lot of the outdated
Hmm.
shitty ones as well. So, but I just wanted to follow up. I think we were riding Cintas a little bit hard. I asked my cousin's husband, Dan, who works for Cintas. I said, Dan, I'm hearing a lot about these bathrooms up at Thurgood Marshall. He said, I can neither confirm nor deny, but I trust that our judging panel knows what they're talking about. So I'm pleased to say that they do. I was
There's
impressed.
nothing much better than a really nice bathroom in a public space.
Yeah.
So kudos to BWI. That's a nice update. Yeah. Do they have the little survey thing on the wall as you leave the bathroom? Did you give them a smiley face, I hope, on the way
I
out?
don't remember. I don't think I use those things just because it seems unsanitary, and there's a lot of people that don't wash their hands, you know?
Yeah.
So, where do you stand on the Dyson Air Blades?
I'm
Dyson guy?
pro. Yeah, I'm pro Dyson Airblades. I enjoy putting my hands under there. It's a nice rush of air. I think I prefer that over the paper towels most times. Now the old school, just like those old school air dryers, once you've done the Dyson blades, it's tough to go back. So
Have you
I
seen the ones with the Dyson blades on like, in the sink?
yeah.
It's like a dual thing,
Yeah.
faucet and
It's
hand
gonna take me
dryer.
a little yeah, it's gonna take me a little while to get used to that, I think.
Yeah.
It's just a lot
Uh,
going on at the sink. Well, what
every
about the ones where you dip them into the thing? I've seen the ones
see, I
where, it creates like
yeah.
that U shape and then you, like, slowly bring them out.
See, I don't like that because I feel like people are hitting either side and their germs
Yeah,
could be getting on there, you know?
yeah. They are
Uh,
effective, though. My hands are pretty dry after, 6, 7, 8
yeah.
seconds, whatever it
Well,
is.
it's some of them just have the opening is too narrow, I think. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
you're, like, hitting the sides.
yeah. I think the
It's
other
like a
thing that
game of operation.
is cool, I always like it when bathrooms have I'm trying to think the last one I was in with this where the people on the other side can't tell. Like, you can see through to the other side, to the other gender's bathroom, but they can't tell that, like have you ever seen that before? It's
No,
like
but I feel like you might need to explain that a little bit more to people listening.
It's all right, it's like
Let's
frosted
zoom into
glass.
that.
Just
Okay.
in the it's just in the,
Like, you can see shadows, like, people are over there, but you can't
I
like,
think
obviously, you can't make out.
it's like truly a, like you can see over the other side, just the sink and mirror side. You can see
Okay.
across, but they can't see you. I don't know.
I don't know if I've
There's a
ever
couple
been in
bathrooms in
something like
Atlanta
that.
that are like
Okay.
that, and, I'm always down for like a co-ed, hand washing area. You
Sure.
come from different sides, and then you get the
I've
co-ed
seen
hand
some of that in,
washing
like,
area.
restaurants.
Yeah, yeah. It's an
Um,
effective use of space.
yeah,
So,
of course. Okay.
anyway, we
Well,
kinda got
there's
off
the
track
bathroom
there.
segment. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Anything else housekeeping wise you go over?
Housekeeping. No, maybe just the next couple weeks. Do we wanna tease what we got going on the trap draw here? Or should we save that for the end of the episode?
Yeah, we can tease it. We can tease it. I'm working on some sort of airports pod for next week, and then we'll have a mid-year goals check-in. I don't think we've ever done a mid-year one
We haven't. We're gonna
before.
check in, see how everybody's keeping up on their goals. That's gonna be over the week of the 4th, I think, the 4th of July.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, I think we're efforting a special kinda one-off. DJ's got his hands on this new Simpsons book that, is it Alan Siegel, I think, has written it? Anyway, I think DJ's gonna do an interview with him, so all the Simpsons fans, that'll be a fun one. And then I think the Seamsters are coming back for, an all-star break show, is roughly what we're thinking there,
Yeah.
TC. That's some housekeeping for the folks the next few weeks.
Okay. All right. Well, let's thank Stone Creek, our friend Drew. We've been talking about him for about 2 years now. If you haven't tried it for yourself, at this point, you may be beyond help. You may not be a real knower, a real trap stoolie, as Poosh calls us. But Stone Creek is the perfect cup of coffee for U.S. Open hangover. You get done after watching 32 hours of Oakmont coverage. I know you did, Randy. You were
Oh, it did. I
you were
watched a
you were right
lot.
there.
Not
Yeah.
32 hours, yeah, but I was locked in. I guess the weekend, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, you need a cigarette and a rich cup of great coffee. Drew
That's
wants
right.
us to highlight a couple of coffees in particular this week that might help you out. First, the Cream City, their best-selling coffee has been for decades. Medium roast. I know you're a big Cream City guy. I'm a big Cream City
Mhm,
guy. It's
mhm.
made up of freshly sourced coffees from Colombia. They've composed this blend to deliver a complex balance of rich sweetness, mild acidity, and deeper caramelized flavors. They want you to leave with a creamy yet layered cup. All that makes sense. I drink a lot of Cream City. I don't know how I would describe it other than just like it's what I think of when I think of coffee. Of like, hey, this is just like
Yeah,
a
it's
down
coffee,
the
coffee.
middle
Yeah.
quality cup of coffee. And then they've got this Three Volcanoes Dark Guatemala. Three Volcanoes.
I got
If you
some of
choose
this
to
up
lean on the dark
in
side,
my cabinet. Yeah.
yeah, you're a big dark roast guy. I'm more of a
Love
light
dark.
roast guy. I'm a light roast, but no cream. You're a dark roast with cream. So,
Yeah, that's right.
um, yeah, that one's got deep sweetness, bold, creamy, still holds on to its soul, balancing powerful body with smooth, effortless drinkability. Finally, for those of you feeling fruity, this would be me, Randy, the raspberry beret Kenya. Light roast grown in the highlands of Kirin Yaga. I got it right. It's got that bright citrusy pop up front and a silky finish that you just won't quit. The name's a Prince reference, which I know we appreciate, and you'll get it after one sip. It'll hit you with notes of raspberry, a little lemon, hibiscus, and apricot. It's loud
I
but undeniably smooth.
I can say I went through a Stone Creek coffee tasting. Drew was putting me through the ranks a couple weeks ago up in Milwaukee in the tasting room, and this is one of the ones we tried, and it is fruity. I mean, it is an interesting coffee. If you like light roast, if you like your coffee fruity, you gotta check this out. It's potent.
You get
Definitely
a cupping,
one of the more interesting coffees. A cupping, yeah. What do you yeah,
a
a
cupping. That's what
cupping,
you call it.
tasting,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But you could really, going from, like, we did a light, medium, dark. We might have even done the Three Volcanoes Dark Guatemala. It is crazy, like, you get a much better appreciation for, like, how much earthier, meatier those dark roasts are than, like, this light roast for sure.
Yeah. StoneCreekCoffee.com. check everything that's passing through their roaster out. They launch new coffees every month, and they've always got something fresh to taste. And then they've also got, their kind of standbys as well. So stonecreekcoffee.com, use the code NLU 2025 to get 15% off your first order if you're one of those that have dilly-dallied. All right, Randy, let's just monitor some shit real quick. Iran, it seems to be popping off. We got all sorts of updates all the time. It seems like DT's saying that he flew back early from the G7 out in, I think they're in British Columbia, southwest or southeastern British Columbia. He's tweeting all sorts of veiled stuff about, or I shouldn't say tweeting, posting on Truth Social, all sorts of veiled threats at Khamenei, you know we'll see if the U.S. hops into the fray, but been pretty disciplined so far.
It's fraught, TC. I don't know, man. Feels like we don't need necessarily another Middle East like war, but this is way more complex than my pay grade. I feel like we might need to get Cody on here one of these weeks for at least a segment. Have him
Amen.
kind of break down what's going on.
Amen. In other news, the artist who gave us the "Watch Me Whip, Watch Me Nay Nay," he was sentenced to 30 years in prison, I believe, for some sort of attempted murder. Salento is his name. I know
That's
Jay.
tough. That's a fun
Yeah,
song. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Who didn't like to whip a nay nay?
The Market Basket CEO. This is Market Basket, big grocery chain up east. He's been suspended, Randy, and he's calling this investigation a farcical cover for a hostile takeover. This comes out 10 years after a bunch of Market Basket employees uh, basically went on strike, put their jobs on the line to defend him. His nickname's RDT. He was basically, I think he was hiding data from the board that would have caused them to raise prices across the board. And he did not want to raise prices. Inflate, he
Which
was so
don't get many of these cases coming across the wire.
I know, right? So we'll continue to monitor that. I did see the former Dippin' Dots CEO was arrested. He's the owner of Coop Ale Works. This
You
not sure.
you are the foremost Dippin' Dots, I think, fan,
Yeah,
enthusiast. Would that be fair to
yeah.
say?
I don't know. It seemed like this one might have been like a mental health crisis or something. So
Okay. Well, we
I don't
certainly
want to
aren't
give
making
it.
light of that, but
Yeah, I certainly today their Dippin' Dots is part of J&J Snack Foods Corporation. It's a publicly traded
okay.
company, JJSF. They purchased the Dippin' Dots and Doc popcorn brands in 2022. So,
Mm.
they say with over 30 years in business, new generations of Dippin' Dots fans emerge, influenced by their young adult parents who grew up eating Dippin' Dots, the ice cream of the future, now
Oh,
catering to
I
a
was
generation who does not know a world without Dippin' Dots.
I was gonna say, are we in that future now?
I think we are.
The future we were promised as kids eating Dippin' Dots, I feel like that's what today is. Full circle.
1988, they were, I think they were invented 1988. Kurt Jones used he's a microbiologist, used his knowledge of cryogenic technology to invent Dippin' Dots. Uh,
That's so great.
and they
And
they they went to
then they froze Ted Williams afterwards, you know? Think about that timeline.
crazy,
Making ice
crazy.
cream to freezing the Splendid Splinter. That's crazy.
Yeah, I love that. We'll get to some Red Sox stuff later. Crazy shit in Minnesota with those targeted political assassinations. That's a pretty
Yeah,
dark timeline there.
sounds like they caught the guy. Um,
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of wild shit's gonna come out when, as they start getting his story. But yeah, that was don't like seeing that. That's not great, TC. Don't love
No.
that.
We got an Antonio Brown attempted murder charge. He's being sought. I don't know if he's turned himself in
Yeah, I feel like a
as
few
of
days now
yet,
that he's
but
being sought.
yeah. Let's see what's going on there. I think he's blaming the media now for the attempted murder
Okay.
charge. So I don't know if he's. Yeah, it looks like he posted a nude edit of Caleb Williams online as well. Just a lot going on with
Sure.
Antonio Brown.
Listen, I don't the Antonio Brown stories doesn't seem like it's going to end well. Like 100% being sincere, if it ends with just an attempted murder charge instead of like somebody actually dying, that's probably a win. But yeah, feel like we haven't heard the last of our guy here.
Yeah. I mean, in better news, China is digging a 10,000-meter hole. Somebody sent
Are
this over.
are they running our playbook?
I think they are. I think they're just looking for stuff down there,
That's
which
cool.
yeah, I think it's, they're looking for oil and minerals and stuff. That's why they're the world leader in, rare earth metals because they're willing to dig holes like that.
So
So
10,000 meters, that's over 30,000 feet.
yeah, yeah. I don't think they're that down that far, but that's their
That's
goal
the
is to
goal.
get down that far. Yeah.
Huh.
So
They're trying to get to the Cretaceous period, which dates back up to 145 million years. We'll
well, so we
we'll
got the
definitely be keeping an eye on that.
yeah, we got all and we got all these geologists offering to help us.
That's right, that's
So
right.
I know you're a big pit bull guy. I'm sure you've
Yeah.
seen this. A lot of people dressing up, they putting these caps on that make them look bald. They're calling themselves the Baldies in support of pit bull and just other balds. So
What
I just wanna thank them for their support. We're one of the more, persecuted, biased against groups on earth.
does
So,
Pitbull do they wear this to his concerts?
yeah, I think
The
so.
Baldies come
Yeah,
to his okay, alright, alright.
yeah, yeah. So, that was cool. What else we got? You know what? I've been monitoring the Paramount Skydance transaction. Shari Redstone,
God, I know nothing
Barry
about
Shari.
this.
Really? Oh my god, it's been a so, Trump's suing Paramount for like $20
They're the
billion
CBS
for the
are
60
they're
Minutes. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
And
okay.
then National Amusements is like the Redstone family holding company. And like this thing is just straight out of Succession. It's basically like, Sumner Redstone's kids, like they're just not serious people. And now like if they can't settle this lawsuit with Trump, then there's no way that the merger is gonna be able to go through. And this Redstone daughter, she's gonna owe like at least $500 million in this loan that she took out to Larry Ellison. It's so complicated. It's fascinating. It's true life succession stuff like
What's the next
going
shoe
down.
to drop? What are we like, what's the
I think if this thing doesn't close by a certain date, then like then Skydance, which is Larry Ellison's son, has an out, and then
okay,
they can basically National Amusements, the holding company, would then probably go bankrupt because they're in arrears on some of these other loans that they've used to kind of hold them over while this multi-billion-dollar transaction winds through.
interesting.
So yeah,
Okay,
it's been fascinating. So,
okay.
in other news, Tron, I guess it's a cryptocurrency. They're going public via a reverse merger. I had
You need
probably
to get in on Tron.
50 people tag me in
Yeah,
this
of
yesterday.
course, of course.
Reverse mergers. I don't know how they work. They sound sick though.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. Financial
Uh,
engineering. I had one out here in Denver,
yeah,
TC. Did you see Mike Lindell
I did.
of
That's the pillow
My
guy, right?
Pillow? Yeah, that's
That's
the pillow
THG's
guy,
guy.
one of THG's people. He was found he needs to pay damages 2.3 million personally to Eric Coomer who was a former executive at Dominion, the voting machine company. This all happened out here in Denver, the trial. I'm a little upset I didn't know about this. I would have loved to have gone down and sat in court for a day. Honestly, would have loved to have been called on a jury for this. Would have been delightful.
Are the My Pillows good?
I don't know. I've never gotten one. I mean, I feel like like when they first started, they must have been. I mean, they must have been doing good business, right?
I'm very picky on my pillows. I like that's the one I really struggle with, like neck stuff, and I
Do
think
you like
pillow wise.
Yeah, this is a big point of contention in our household. Do you like pillow? What's your favorite type of pillow? Do you like structure and like some girth to your pillow, or do
Yes,
you like? Yeah, so
yes.
do I.
Flimsy, thin pillows I just can't get down with because I feel
No,
like feel like my head is like my neck is crumpled or crinked up.
Yeah, nothing worse than, like, going to a hotel or an
Oh,
Airbnb and just
you gotta
bad
have like
pillows.
6 pillows on top of one
Yeah,
another. Yeah,
and, like,
it
you can't
sucks.
find the height that you're used to.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. So, well,
yeah,
I'm not super picky on like firm versus soft. It's just got to have enough
yeah,
build to it if it is soft. So,
yeah, yeah.
Randy, I've got to follow up on the Marist school kid that got DQ'd from the state track and field championships in Georgia
Oh,
for,
that's right.
I
What
guess,
was he doing again?
I think he
Flicking
was
somebody
flipping a
off?
bird as he was passing somebody who had done wronged him somehow. Fully support. News came out that it was the St. Pius coach, which is the other
Wow.
big Catholic school in Atlanta, was the
Wow.
one who ratted him out, and then, it didn't matter because his teammate ended up winning state championship anyway in
Wow.
that discipline or whatever, so,
Not very
uh
pious of the St. Pius coach.
and then I saw some concerning stuff just on, Keisha Lance Bottoms, Neil's girl. She's trying to run for governor of Georgia.
Yeah.
She's getting absolutely bodied. Nobody wants to support her. I don't think she's a serious enough person. She did a pretty poor job as mayor of Atlanta. I don't think she's serious enough to garner stuff, and I don't think she's corrupt enough to garner, support on the other side of things. So, like we either need like a Bill Campbell, who I think is still in federal prison, or someone who's like a legitimate operator. We can't have somebody just in the mediocre middle, you know?
Who's the current guy? Kemp?
Brian Kemp.
What's
Yeah.
he is he doing a
I
congressional
think
run or a
he's just
Senate
gonna
run or
get
something?
termed
Or
I
is
think he's
he
just gonna get termed out. I think this is his
okay,
2nd term. So,
okay.
yeah,
Huh.
but,
Alright.
yeah,
We'll make sure Peg keeps us abreast on what's
yeah.
going on.
Big, how's your tennis going? Let's switch gears a little
Uh,
bit.
oh my god, TC. I had a big week of tennis last week. We It's been going good to answer your question, man. I was playing in a tournament, the Denver City Open. I was playing at my 3.5 level. I wasn't in the true open bracket, but yeah, fun tournament. It was held at Denver Tennis Club, this fun little tennis club not far from my house. I rode my bike there for my matches. Very cool. Even joined the wait list, which they told me it was like 3 years. I was like, oh, just put me on there. We'll we'll make a decision in a couple of years. But I reached my first ever final, TC. I ended up losing, so I'll cut to the chase. I lost a tough final, 6-3, 6-3. But a few things to note from this tournament. One, first time ever playing on a true singles court, which did not have the doubles alleys on it,
I don't think
which
I've
was
ever played on one of those before.
yeah, a little bit of a mind bender. Just it takes a little bit to get used to. Feels, I don't know, just felt a little smaller for a while until you really do get used to it. That was a fun experience. I want to shout out my third round opponent. This guy Davis was truly, truly like the most insane tennis match I've ever played. Nice guy. We were kind of just chit chatting in between games the whole match, but we played a match where neither of us could hurt the other person with any of our shots, and both of us, and especially him, was like so good at just keeping the ball in play and was really good at lobbing. I was up, to give you a sense of our match, I was up 5-2 in the first and ended up having to break and then win a tiebreaker to win the first set. And then I was up 5-1 in the second. And all these matches are, you play two sets, and if you tie 1-1, you
Yeah,
play a 10-point third set tiebreak in lieu of like a full set.
yeah.
I was up 5-1, thinking, hey, this will be good. Ended up losing in a tiebreak in the second set, so I go to this 10-point tiebreak. Like truly during the second set, I totally got the yips on overhead. So he just kept lobbing me. I would just
It's gotta
run
be so
back.
hard to lob you, though.
Yeah, it is. It is. But I would just get the yips. So I just let the ball bounce. Like I think it felt like we had a 40 shot rally at one point where neither of us just refused to go on the offensive. We were truly just kind of
Just
hitting it back and
backboard.
forth. Just like, you go ahead, you go ahead, you go ahead.
Just
Um,
gutless tennis.
I
Just
was on the court for over
patient.
3 hours. our match time was like 3 hours and 15 minutes in a 3.5 singles match, 2 sets, and I truly there were points, especially going into the 10-point tiebreak, I was like, "I don't know how I'm gonna win, like, this is horrible. Like, I just want this match to be over." I was completely my mind was completely in a blender. I still don't really know how I won enough points to win the match, but that match ended and I was like, "Dude, I never want to play you again." Like, I truly never want to play you again, and I mean that in the best sense. Like, it was the
It
most
sounds like he would be a
uncomfortable
good
match.
rallying partner for you
Yeah. It
if you guys ever wanted to practice together. I was like,
oh, no, it'd be yeah, it'd either be, like, great or horrible. I just and he was a Buck Tech guy. He went to Ohio State. So we were talking a bit about that. But anyway, I got through that match. Then I won a semifinal match to get my first final ever. And I think the thing I learned about myself, I think I was the finals went very quickly. I never felt like settled in playing that final match. I felt very tense, just kind of nervous, like didn't want to make mistakes. So I feel like I took some stuff from that experience, but I've been having a lot of fun with tennis. TC. This is gonna be my last tournament probably till the fall. My summer calendar gets a little busy, and the tournaments kind of taper off until like after Labor Day. But that was one of my goals is to win a tournament this year. So I came close, but I haven't achieved it. But it was fun. It was a good, very good experience.
how do these tournaments work? Is it like set time, like set dates, and they're over a span of
Yeah.
multiple weeks, and it's set dates that just all right, this tournament is kind of running in the background
It,
between 4 and 8 p.m. every day over the next 2 weeks, or
Pretty much. So when you register for a tournament, you know the dates that the whole tournament's going to fall in. So it's usually some tournaments can run over like a long weekend, like a Thursday to
yeah,
Sunday.
because that was like I played a bunch of tennis growing up, and it was always like, all right, if you win this match, you got to come back at 6 p.m. tonight to play the
Yeah,
next match or
yeah.
whatever. Like it was a much more consolidated time frame.
This was a bigger. They just had a lot of events in this tournament, so it started on like a Friday, and then the finals were the next Sunday.
Okay.
But they're running like men's open, 3.5, 4, 4.5, like age divisions, doubles,
Yeah,
and then female, all the same thing.
the
So they just have a
mix.
lot of
Yeah.
events. So I played like Friday, then I played Sunday, Monday, then I was off till the next Friday, and then the finals were on Sunday morning. So kind of
Okay.
over like 8, 9 days, I played 5 matches, which I was thankful for because it's a bit of a grind. Like I've played like 2 matches in a day before, or you like play like
Yeah.
3, like that 4th straight day playing. Like, my feet just start killing me. My body's not. I'm not in like peak athletic condition here.
Well, you gotta be in
Um,
pretty good shape now if you're playing that
I'm
much.
feeling a little bit better. Yeah. I got a big kick too. I went over to watch this men's open semis. Just good play. I mean, guys
Yeah.
that play college. The guy who ended up winning is a new assistant coach at Elon, I think,
Okay.
had been at DU here and is
Nice.
moving to Elon. It was fun experience. Props to my guy Zach. He beat me in the final. He had 2 kids. That was the other thing I learned. TC. The other thing I learned in tennis is I feel like I really need to like not like somebody to get the competitive juices flowing. And like when I'm just like talking to a guy, I'm like, I see his kids over there. It's Father's Day on Sunday. I'm like, what? Like in my mind, I'm like, I'm not like desperately trying to like
Yeah.
beat this person's ass. It's like, so it takes a bit of the edge off. Um,
And all
which
this is on hard court?
this was all a hardcore tournament.
Okay.
Yeah. Outdoor hard courts.
You ever get any bad line calls?
Yeah.
Not to
We
name
call
any
our own
names or
lines.
to, make
No.
anybody, put anybody on blast, but just generally speaking.
Yeah,
'Cause that's
but
probably the one thing that could really piss you off and, like,
yeah,
engage that competitive
yeah,
mentality,
yeah,
right?
for sure. Yeah, you try to shake it off, and I know I've probably called some bad lines. You try to do the best you can. It's a little tough. I will say they did have officials roaming around, and usually when you got to the 10-point tiebreak, the official would come and like watch the lines for the match, just to like
Gotcha.
avoid controversy at the very end. But
Yeah.
yes, that is definitely a factor, or lines. I know people too that like swear by like, man, if it's close, I'm calling it out. I try not to do that. Like I try to like, hey man, I think that caught the line, so I'm gonna call it in just
So I feel
because.
like if it's close, it's like the tie should go to
Yeah,
being
you
in, not out, you know?
I feel like you should try to call the other person's lines like you want them to call yours.
Yeah.
But I have been in not this term, but I have been in some matches where it's like, are we sure about that one? And you start getting a
Yeah.
little like, okay, well, if
Oh,
you're
I
gonna call
remember
all the
those
close
days
ones
growing
out, then
up.
like, yeah,
Yeah,
it's like screw
fucking
this.
game on, doll.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. What do
Um,
you need to work on most?
I need to work on ground strokes. My serve has been coming along better. I need more consistent, just a little bit more oomph on a second serve. Backhand, still a work in progress, has gotten better. And then forehand, I need to turn the forehand into more of like a bit more of a weapon.
Mhm.
It's not as my best forehands are kind of like trying to place them in the corners, and then I really like to follow those in and use my height advantage at the net. But I would love to get a little bit more, win some more points like off ground strokes, I guess.
Yeah. I always had a not consistent enough forehand, and then I had a really good two-handed backhand. It was
Yeah,
like a weapon,
that's
but
dude. If I am so in awe of people who just have like really really good backhands because I do not. I'm kind of a junk baller too a little bit. Like I don't play a pretty game of tennis. I like to change spins. I like to change
yeah.
paces. I like to change. I'm. You just can't hit the same balls at people.
I feel like it's just one of those things too of like when you play somebody who can dictate the pace against you or dictate what you're gonna do, it's like there was this dude that I was playing against growing up, Scott Trapani, and he was similar. Like he was just like he was a backboard. Like I just
Yeah,
couldn't get anything past him. He didn't try to hit winners. He would just rely on you to make unforced errors. And then at some
yeah.
point, you would just get so bored, and you're like, "Oh, fuck this, man."
You would
I'm
go
gonna,
for it. Exactly. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That was that, and I am most comfortable. I like to play against people who like want to dictate and want to go for it because I'm like, cool. I'll just try to keep the ball in play and
yeah.
win some points at the net. I don't think you're gonna hit as many like clean winners I think your mistakes are gonna be more than your like awesome shots is kind of my theory at this level especially.
You've
But
got me somewhat, between this and watching Alcaraz come back and Coco and all that. You got me,
I know PVIC has to
inspired.
have a good tennis program.
Oh, it's like one of the biggest
Yeah.
racket clubs in all of, North Florida.
Look for
So
some,
if
like,
not the
group
biggest.
drills. Get in doing some
Yeah.
group drills,
A
see
lot
if
of
you catch
clay,
the itch.
a lot of
Yeah.
clay down here.
Which clay's
So,
fun. I
yeah,
mean,
I love clay. I see,
easier
I'm
on your knees.
scrappy. I like
Yeah.
putting spin on the ball and like, you know,
Yeah.
yeah. So, well, cool. Speaking of which, this episode's brought to you by Whoop, the official fitness
Mm.
wearable
Had a
PGA,
lot of
LPGA
strain this
Tour.
past week. Yeah.
Yeah, all new Whoop. You been wearing it?
Yeah. The battery life, I know that's I cannot tell you how great it is to have, like, a 2-week battery. I'm just charging it for the first time after I got it, like, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 7% smaller, 14 plus days of battery life. Powerful new features like health span, which shows your daily habits impact your pace of aging. Sleep wise, I know it's that's kind of where I look at it on is sleep wise. So go to join.whoop.com slash no laying or sorry, slash NLU. That's join.whoop.com slash NLU to get a free month on us and start optimizing your life on and off the course and on and off the courts,
That's right.
for Randy. So
I'll say they have, a couple of things new. They have this, like it's in beta right now, but a blood pressure insight thing, which is not a substitute for getting an actual blood pressure, but can kinda give you some insights there. I That's something whenever I, like, go to the doctor, I feel like my it's not, like, sky high, but they're like, "Ooh, that's a little high," So, I like that, and then they also have, like, an ECG, like a heart screener little thing that, again, like, isn't a substitute for the real thing, but it's kinda, like, good enough where, if you're curious or if that's something you need to do a little bit more regularly, you can get some data points from your Whoop on that, which is cool.
Randy, I had my first physical in a few. I just hadn't got one in a while, couple of years, and went couple weeks ago to get that. I went to the dermatologist for the first time and probably since I moved to Florida. Probably
Good
do
on
that more
you.
regularly.
Yeah.
Um, I'd been accumulating United Chase co-branded credit cards, canceled 2 of those. So down to just 2 cards now. Like, I, like, wasn't putting any money on them. I was just it was just like clutter, you know?
Yeah.
Canceled those. I did, what else did I do? I reduced the number of open tabs on my devices by like 60 to 70%. Now,
That's
granted,
huge.
got rid of a lot of my phone. My laptop is out of control right now. What else did I have? I got my phone replaced. I got a new, replacement phone as far as I had a cracked screen. I haven't gotten a case for it. I've always been
I
anti-case.
desperately need a new case.
So,
Anti-cases, yeah, I like the look of no case. I just drop my phone too much to I
yeah.
have to have one.
So,
You
I
know
don't
what
know.
I tried,
I feel like
TC?
I was just being an adult, you know.
You have been an adult. That's kudos. I actually need to get in for a physical. It's been I think my last one was like 2 years ago. That's a good you're gonna motivate me for that. I would get served up on Instagram. I know we're not in like the free ad business, but these brick things, have you gotten those
No.
the ads? It's this little like 3D printed thingy and you download the app and you can set up like the brick is essentially like you touch your phone to it and it activates, and then you touch your phone to it again and it deactivates. But what it activates, you can set up as much as you want. And I just set up like a social media detox brick. And so I touched it. I'm now on like a week and a half, essentially like blocking Instagram, Blue Sky. Uh, I can follow like, we share a lot of like Twitter stuff in our Slack. I can follow those. But,
X.
the
It's
reason I
X.
say that,
The
it's like
everything app.
yeah, you physically have to, like you touch your phone to it. So I have one in my office down here and then one up on our refrigerator in the kitchen, and, yeah, I just got sick and tired of, like, how much I was scrolling some social media stuff, and
Good
this
for
brick
you.
has been very helpful. Yeah, I'm going
I'm
on,
gonna
like,
I'm
a week
gonna
and a half now without checking anything.
I'm gonna grab one of those here this week then. It's a
Yeah.
great call.
So, I'm trying to I don't know. I truly felt like I would look through those apps and I just, like, feel I would just get anxiety, like, weight of the news of the world, and I'm like, "Why?" Like,
Yeah.
I know it's a kind of akin to just, like, putting my head in the sand, but I'm like, what am I like, what? This is just gonna, like, make you worried and anxious about, like and not that, like,
Shit that you can't control,
yeah,
or
exactly.
I think you can
So,
keep up
like, I
with the
truly
news.
need something to, like, "No, you can't open this app." So,
Yeah.
it's been really nice.
I think there's a way to keep up with the news and be in tune and in the loop without injecting it into your veins
Yeah.
16 hours a day at random junctures, right?
I might go back to, like I honestly I was thinking, man, like, how nice would to, like, just read a daily newspaper,
Oh,
you know?
someone
And I
who,
think
like,
that's
from
what
the
I might
time I
go
was,
back
like,
to.
maybe in 2nd grade, I just loved reading, like, opening up the paper and reading it. Like,
Yeah,
there's something about just having a big broadsheet and,
yeah. I might
everything's
do that.
curated there for you, and, like, you can pick and choose what you wanna read and what you
That
wanna
might be
just
my
glance
that might
over.
be my new second half of the year goal.
I
Just
love
read
that.
newspapers.
I love that. Trying to think. Yeah, my physical, everything went well. They always tell me my
It's
blood
good.
pressure, and I'm like, "Is that good?" They're like, "Yeah, it's great." I'm like,
That's
"Gain
wonderful.
gain weight."
Yeah.
I think I'm weighing in at, like, the highest I've been since, like, high school football, which now it's just fat instead of muscle. So I need to do that. And
Carrying
Randy, I'm telling
extra.
you, it's I'm spending, like, over $100 a week on Johnny Pops. I think that's what it is. Like, I swear to God, these things are
Uh,
they're both
well, now you got
bad for
DJ
me.
on
And
'em.
I know, I got Neil. Neil's got his whole family.
Neil's in 'em.
My
What
parents are on them.
Okay, I've never bought one. I've heard you talk about them. What separates them, or what's the hook of them?
It is so it's separation. It's the separation of flavors. It's like
Okay.
real fruit and fruit juice, but, like, they've got the rocket kind of pops ones. It's, like, got a blue top and then white and red, and, like,
Yeah.
those are delicious, but the way that they're frozen in is they're fascinating. They've got these rainbow ones. They're all sorts of flavors. Like I haven't even had all the flavors because they carry about 15 flavor or probably 12 flavors at my Whole Foods. There's probably 25 flavors out there. So I haven't even tried half of their stuff. So they've got the popsicle ones that are like, fruit kind of s-
Yeah.
just traditional popsicles. And then they came out with these ice cream ones, Randy, that
That's the
they're a
game
little bit
changer.
smaller
Yeah.
and they're only 70
They have that
calories,
creaminess though.
but all they've got this Neapolitan one that is they've got a mango one, a Neapolitan one, a root beer one. I don't get down with that. They got a birthday cake one, which is whatever. But these Neapolitan ones are insane, Randy. I could eat like I had a whole box the other night. There's 6 of them in a box. I had 6 of them in one sitting. Unbelievable. And it's strawberry,
Yeah.
vanilla, and chocolate, but they're separated out like each layer. It's like eating a cake with each layer. It's
Interesting.
crazy. And they sent me a bunch. Johnny Pops sent me a bunch of free one, like a bunch of coupons, and I forgot to use them, so they expired at the end of the year last
Oh,
year. I was
no.
so sad. But but yeah, just I don't know. I wish I could buy stock in the company because I think they're
You
just
get
gonna
them at
take
Whole
over the
Foods?
frozen. I get them at Whole Foods and Publix, depending upon
Okay.
who has which flavors. Like I'm going to different stores
Yeah.
to get different flavors of Johnny Pops. There's one that's got all these different shades of blue on it that I don't even know what flavors it is, but that one's delicious. But that one, they really only sell at Publix. Uh, it's a
So
problem.
I'm reading, yeah, 2 guys from Minnesota
Yeah,
and
I
making
think a couple
frozen
of listeners
treats in
like
the
went to
basement
high
of their
school with
college
him.
dorm room. Yeah.
Yeah,
Eric Brust and Connor Ray. Fascinating. Okay,
yeah.
you have my promise. you know where we're heading to Michigan over the 4th. I
Oh,
think picking
that'd be
up a couple
perfect.
boxes of Johnny Pops for the family. I will
And
report
then
back.
then we get Chuck and Peg into him,
Yeah.
and get
I could
good
see
good
Chuck
bar into
getting
him.
I could see Chuck getting deep in them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I come from a very popsicle loving family. Like,
Yes, you do.
the franchise used to buy we used to buy those flavor ices or whatever that you would throw in the freezer and the big long tubes. I mean, Gustav eats a bunch of those, like, he just jumps in the pool, comes back into my office. We got a freezer in here. He grabs 3 more, goes back in the pool. It's an everyday thing.
I'm
So,
reading on their website, you need to join the Pop Squad as a community of people on a mission to help make the world a better place. Uh, yeah, we need to get you on the Pop Squad for Johnny Pops. The part of their ambassador program.
I think what else is going on? Been cooking, I've been cooking swordfish. Randy, been on a big swordfish kick lately. Just a good summer delicacy, kinda nice
What's
firm fish.
what's the degree of difficulty with that?
Pretty easy.
Not
Just
bad?
marinate it for like 10 or 15 minutes in some
Okay.
kinda soy sauce, citrus, you can do like turmeric or rosemary and then just throw it on the grill and you do it on the stovetop too. You do it with couscous or rice or some fun noodles. Chicken thighs too. They've they've
I saw you
had
had that on there. We've been
oh,
grilling the shit out of chicken thighs here,
dude,
TC.
I don't understand. I've been on a big chicken thigh kick over the last few years of just like, wait, why would I ever buy a chicken breast when I can buy chicken thighs? They just
Yeah.
like taste better. But I finally found chicken thighs with skin on, boneless
Mm.
but with skin on. The skin on just makes it better. So
We For, like, chicken tacos, they're great. Marinate some thighs, grill them. Yeah, we're on the chicken thigh bandwagon as well. Glad to
I do
see.
them on in I'll marinate them in pickle juice too. Like I eat a lot of pickles. I love like McClure's, Grillos, all sorts of
Didn't we have a big
yeah.
who's your official pick? Are you kind of a free agent again?
I'm kind of
I
a
was
free agent.
Yeah,
Yeah. I've definitely switched over to Oots as far as Utz, Oots, whatever. I don't want to get a mea
pre-mea
culpa.
culpa, we don't
As,
need that one then, yeah.
as far as pretzels go. And then, huge cheese guy, hard, like good cheddars. And I mean, really all cheeses. And then I've started pickling my own pickles, my own cucumbers as well.
Huh,
So, but yeah, I'm kind of a free agent. There's different, spears versus chips versus sweet and
yeah,
sours and all that. I like them to have a little bit of kick to them, a little bit of spice.
yeah,
So,
interesting.
Pickling's sweet. You can add to the list of things that are sick.
I the only cooking news I have, my wife found a recipe for essentially recreating the Taco Bell Crunchwrap Supreme, and it's fucking delicious, TC. We've had it twice now. It
Love
might
the
be my new
Crunchwrap
favorite.
Supreme.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. So if you're interested in
Crunchwrap
that,
Supreme
I'll have to
and,
have her send that to you.
yeah, please, please, and the cheesy gordita crunch, I've always
Yeah,
liked as well.
yeah,
Yeah, I was hitting Taco Bell. I had, like, a weird, like, maybe 3 or 4-week stretch where I was hitting Taco Bell a little bit too often.
too much, yeah.
I've laid back off of that.
Like,
You know
whoa.
what the other thing I've been making is just really simple pan con tomate, like, just bread with tomatoes, like, nothing
Oh,
just
nice.
some
Okay.
just mash up some tomatoes and throw some salt and a little bit of olive oil on them. Just, like, very
Yeah.
simple Spanish thing and just spread it on some French bread. Delicious. Great this
Sometimes I
time of year.
swear, man, the more simple, the
Yeah,
better. If you have good
totally.
ingredients, yeah,
And well, and you just wait, like, we got our lime tree out back. So we got a lemon tree, a lime tree. We're growing some cukes and some tomatoes, and we got a big, herb garden going, but the lime tree, I think we're gonna have over 100 limes this year, Randy. It's a
that's insane.
sweepstakes.
Yeah.
So, it might be
We'll make some
margarita season.
limeade. Have Gustav out there selling some homemade limeade on the street corner.
He would probably beat people up if they didn't buy it from him. He's pretty forceful. So, what else we got going? I took Freddie to seafood night at Ponte Vedra and Club. They ended up
Freddie's
charging
got
him as an adult because he ate
Freddie
so many
has
oysters.
the best palate of truly of any 8-year-old in the world. I would put him up against anybody.
I'd put him up against a lot of adults,
Oh,
actually.
100%. I'm
Yeah,
sure he's got a more refined palate than I do.
like, he was we were eating, like they had, like, 4 different kinds of oysters, and he's like, "Dad, I like this one better. It's from Maine." Or, like, it's just,
Yeah.
ceviche, all sorts of stuff there.
Well, were they
He's
like
gotten me into Wordle too.
he's a Wordle guy.
Huge Wordle guy. He
Yeah.
always starts it with naked too. That's his
Okay.
word, naked.
Yeah, I don't know if I love that K being one of the first ones, but
Yeah, that's what I've tried to explain that to him.
well,
Yeah.
hold on, go back to when they had to charge him as an adult. Was that did they have to come up to be like, Mr. Schuster, I'm sorry, like your son, we do need to charge
Uh,
him as an adult
they didn't
for
even
his
say anything.
oyster
They just
consumption.
kinda, it was just kinda like an unspoken thing, like,
Okay.
he literally went up there about 6 times.
But you accepted that. That
Oh,
wasn't
yeah,
like
I wasn't
egregious.
gonna
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
no, no,
All right.
it was very, very much above board. So,
Okay. All right.
I think I'm gonna have to get a new AC unit. I think it's finally this summer. We've known, like, we thought it was gonna go out 3 or 4 years ago, and it just keeps on
Yeah.
going, but it's gonna be
Do you get
a big
insurance on
purchase.
stuff like that, or is that just you're
I think it's
buying
just
a
yeah, I think, like, we knew it when we bought our house 4 or 5
okay.
years ago, so it's kinda been a bonus that we've gotten this much out of it. Alex got a nail in her tire this morning.
It's the
I've had
worst.
3 nails in my tires over the last year.
I'm
It's rough.
knocking on wood. I haven't had that in a little while. I that happened to me down in Florida one time.
It's crazy. There's just nails. There's nails everywhere.
Yeah.
We need one of those guys that go around with a magnet.
You know, the big thing up here is the chipped windshields
Oh,
is
I'm
like a
sure.
huge Colorado thing,
Just
and
rocks
yeah,
flying
I
off all
haven't
the
had one
time.
of those in a while,
Yeah.
thankfully, but
Uh, Big, I saw on your calendar you went to Hillstone for dinner lately. How was that?
we did. Yeah, the wife and I, we actually met this other couple, my buddy Frederick and his wife. Hillstone, is one of Kat, my wife, her, like, favorite restaurants here in Denver. We I think it's very similar. Do you have Houston's?
We don't have any here in Jax, but we had Houston's in
Okay.
Atlanta.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's like
So, we had talked about
Houston.
this before, and you'd never been to
Okay.
Houston's or Hillstone before.
No, no,
Yeah.
no.
So I
And
was just
so
circling back. So now you've
yeah,
gone a few times.
it is nice. I see why people like it.
It's a
It's like
great chain.
exceptionally good service
Yeah.
without being, like, pretentious or, you don't have to, like, get super fancy to go in there,
Yeah.
but the food's gonna be very good, the service is gonna be great, and yeah, it's a nice place. I had a burger there last time.
Great burger.
Um, what
It's
else
like
did we
going back to the '90s in a good way,
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly right.
you
Like,
know?
touch on their service, I was not having a margarita, but or not a margarita, a martini. And like mid drink, the waiter comes over with just like two new cold martini glasses, like pours like the remaining half of the martini in the new glass. And just like here, here's a new chilled glass for the rest of your martini. Just like little touches like that, which are great.
Yeah.
They were a little late seating us based on our reservation because they couldn't clear tables fast enough. And they like just sent over a free like spinach artichoke dip. It's
Oh,
it's just stuff
great
that you
spinach
appreciate.
artichoke dip.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
the GM lady came over, I was like, "Don't even worry about it. It's great, no problem." So, yeah, fan of Hillstones. There's kind of a sister location too, Cherry Creek Grill. They're, like,
Okay.
very, very similar. Their main, like, appetizer dish, though, is like a grilled artichoke
Yeah.
where you just,
Yes.
like you're kinda, like, picking
It's
up
great. Oh,
the
yeah.
peel and, like, wiping off the flesh of it.
It's truly one of those things that, like, I don't need
I
to
think it's the
cook.
only place I see that dish,
Like,
like,
I'm
I
not gonna cook it myself. It's a
right.
pain in the ass to cook and clean artichokes, but, like, it's wonderful to get there. Yeah.
Yeah. So we enjoyed that.
Yeah. What's summer looking like for you?
Summer, well, we're going to Michigan. We're making the drive end of June. We're taking Arthur to Michigan for 4th of July week. Looking forward to that. And
How long's the
then
drive?
it's gonna take us like 22 hours. So I think on the yeah, I
Jesus.
know, it's
That's so long
I know.
each way?
Yeah, oh yeah, each way. We're gonna do it in 3 I think our plan to get there, we're gonna leave on, like, a Thursday late afternoon, just drive however many hours, stop all day Friday, and then get in, like, early afternoon, hopefully Saturday. So our route I think we're gonna try to take the most direct route, which the only choice I have is kinda when you hit,
Let's see here.
Milwaukee, you can choose to either go down through Chicago, down around Lake Michigan, and up the west side of Michigan, or you can go up north to Green
Yeah.
Bay, across the Upper Peninsula, drop down on the Mackinac Bridge. So we're gonna do the northern route, go across the UP,
Hell yeah.
come over the Mackinac Bridge. Um,
You should go back on the way back, you should take the ferry.
I did think about the ferry, I know. There's one that, do you remember where did you guys land on the Michigan side? Was it Grand Rapids or
I
was
think
it up in,
we
like,
landed in
Ludington?
Ludington.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one my dad was telling me about that one. I That would be fun to check out.
Yeah. So you're gonna go through alright, you're going through Nebraska, just I-80 along Nebraska all the way through
Yeah.
Omaha. Like what? Stop in Omaha or Des Moines or somewhere?
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like all
Uh,
of Nebraska, Iowa, Wisconsin.
yeah.
Um,
Go through Davenport, okay, and then yeah, and then up. Okay.
it's too
Huh.
bad, like, I'm gonna go right through I've never been to Nebraska, this will be a completely new state, but I think we go
Gotta stop at
right through
Arunza.
Gothenburg, Wild
Yeah.
Horse. Love to stop and play golf, but I won't.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude,
Runza.
wild. There's like I feel like you could pull that off. There's some cool parks and stuff along the
Just have
Platte
Cat
River there.
go take Arthur for a walk while dad plays golf real quick. I know hey, our 22-hour drive, we're actually gonna make it 27 hours because I need to play some golf.
Uh, and then you're just driving and then what, you're there for like 7 days and you're driving home?
Yeah, we're gonna try to get home in 2 days,
Okay.
1 night, we'll see how that goes, but yeah, so that's the most immediate thing, and then I feel like July could just some work travel, the Open Championship, I'm not going, but, obviously we'll be here with that, but then at the end of July, going over to Wales for the Women's Open, will
Yeah.
be the next big trip for me. I know you're coming out I don't know if we wanna tease it, but you're coming out
Yeah.
this way in July.
Yeah, we're going, I'm trying to think what I got next. I'm going to Chicago this week. Going to hang out with Roger Steele for day up at Medina. And then I got next week. Poosh is rolling through town next week.
Ah,
We're gonna play some
yeah,
G and then go to the concert.
Denver in August. Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Beat
And
his
then
ass for us, will you?
then I gotta go pick up the kid. Yeah. And then I gotta go pick up the kids at in Atlanta next. My parents are taking them next week for a little
That's
Camp
fun.
Gigi action
Yeah.
up there. And then yeah, after that, yeah, I'm actually going up to Cabot. I'm going to Nova Scotia. I
Oh,
haven't
yeah.
been back there since our trip. What was that, like 2018,
Yeah,
2019.
that was early. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
19? Yeah,
Um,
what a great time of year to be there.
yeah, nice. Yeah, I'm going up there second week in July, and then yeah, Open Championship from home, and then yeah, going to Nebraska, doing a little filming
That'd be
out there,
fun.
and then we've got the main family vacation. Bunch of people have reached out with great recommendations too for that. So thank you to everybody on
Good,
that front.
good.
So, but yeah, otherwise, just kind of trying to plan out, you know, starting to look at next year and like what
I
trips I want
know.
to take next year and what I want to do this fall and all that stuff. Alex and I, we've got our both turning 40 next year, and we just celebrated our 10-year wedding anniversary. So trying to figure
Congratulations.
out where we're gonna go for that and when and all that. So
Yeah. I know, you guys should God, yeah, blow it out for the 40th.
that's yeah, I'm thinking like New Zealand or I think
Yeah,
that's probably where we're gonna land and then fly back on Singapore Air through Singapore.
that'd be
That would be for me, you
that
know?
would be yeah, one for me.
Yeah.
Uh, God, I
So,
should ask Kat if she wants to fly through Singapore to go to Michigan maybe. We'll ditch the driving.
I mean, yeah, I'm shocked you're driving that far for such a like, it would be one thing if it was 2 weeks.
Well,
That's a
we got a
long ass drive.
yeah, we really so our dog Arthur, we've we've taken him hiking and he's kinda like he was very unsure on some alpine lakes, like, we've never just had him in a nice body of
That's
water to
fair.
see how he takes to swimming, so we really, really wanted to take him, and it's like, I don't know, the easiest way is just to drive there, so
Yeah, that's fair. Julius loves the beach. He got in the pool the other day for the first time, which I'm not happy about. Him
that
him
might
getting in the
become
pool.
that might
Yeah,
become a recurring yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. So,
Honestly, a big drive like that too, I know the drive home will suck. I'm weirdly a little looking forward to, like, doing it one way. I
oh,
don't
I think
necessarily
that's
need both ways.
yeah. I think that's very therapeutic in a way too,
Yeah,
and, like, there's something nice about the high plains. Like, the Nebraska's a
yeah.
cool drive just across. It's much better
It
than Kansas in
it's
my
anything
opinion.
like I mean, we drove Denver to Austin a couple times last year. That yeah, it's nice just being out in just total open
Yeah,
country a little bit.
yeah.
So,
Randy, I had a cool one that I read the other day, New York Times, about, the man whose weather forecast saved the world. It was, just about this guy, um,
this was,
c
D-Day, right? World War
yeah,
II?
Group Captain James Stagg. He was, kind of the, like, meteorologist. He was a dour, irascible Scot, according to his son.
The best
It was a
kind of
really
Scott.
I don't know, it was one of those articles that, there's a lot of shitty stuff going on just in the
Yeah,
world right now, and this one kinda just brought me back to, like,
that's nice.
simpler,
Yeah.
kind of, simpler times, so it was cool. It was just all about, like, basically everything that had to go right for them to even
Mhm.
green light that operation between full moon and tides and winds and storms out in the channel or coming off the North Atlantic and, you know, cloud cover and all sorts of stuff. Just so
Yeah.
many variables. So
The
but yeah, some cool little anecdotes in there about it, him presenting the forecast to Eisenhower and like didn't even get it completely right, but like that was kind of part of the deal. Like the Nazis had certain calculations about, what they thought the Americans needed to invade, like the conditions
mhm.
that they thought they needed, and it turns out the American or the Allies needed a lot less than, like less favorable conditions than what they thought. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Speaking of reading, did you ever get into, I don't know what just jogged my memory, but the Careless People book?
No, I haven't. You
The
know what? I
Facebook
picked it
one?
up and I read about 2 chapters of it, and then I just set it down. I haven't picked it back up, and not a commentary on the book itself.
Okay.
We're just I just yeah, I
Yeah,
haven't really been reading much here of late, just been a sprint. So,
yeah.
yeah, I need to pick that back up and report back. So,
Well, maybe one of these trips or flights, that's good.
yeah. And
I
then
just
actually, you
started
know what? I bought another one. Um, I don't know, it's just good summer reading. Bill Bryson, I've always been a huge fan.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Lost Continent, Travels in Small Town America. So,
Oh, that
uh,
sounds like a good one. Yeah,
yeah,
let
because
me know how you like that
I've
one.
read his Australia one, I've read Notes from a Small Island, which was England or Britain, and then, a couple of his US ones, obviously Walk in the Woods and then one other
Yeah.
one. So,
I was kinda searching I was a little out of reading, but I just started, David Remnick wrote a book, King of the World on Muhammad Ali,
okay.
and I'm, like, 40 pages in and really digging it.
Remnick on Ali, I would read that. That's
Yeah,
yeah, that's a strong combo.
and I haven't read any of his other books,
Read a lot
sheepishly,
of his
but
stuff
I
in The
know
New
he's got
Yorker.
some
Yeah,
yeah, pretty prolific.
yeah. Trying to think anything else I've been kinda hey, what's going on Real Housewives of Orange County? You've been
Yeah. I know I saw something that maybe the Katie Janela was getting kicked off, but the best my wife is all up in the gossip. She speculates, this is all speculation, that uh Katie Janela will start the new Real Housewives season. She'll be a part of it, but something happens and like she doesn't end up making the second big girls trip or something. So we're
huh,
excited
okay.
for this one, TC. I don't know exactly the when it kicks back up again, but we will be watching.
Yeah, all sorts of rumors floating around. I don't watch the show, but even I've seen some of the rumors of, like, you know,
Yeah.
kinda
Well, this is
teasing
one I just
impropriety or things that like, it seemed to rise above the normal
yeah. I'll tell you
mishmash of
what, we're watching, The Valley on Bravo, which is, not all of, but some of the Vanderpump Rules people have graduated
okay.
to, like Jackson, Brittany, and, Kristen, and, those people are legitimately insane. Like, I told Kat, I'm like, "I truly think somebody's gonna kill somebody someday on this show." Like, it is unhinged.
I think
Uh,
James Kennedy, he was here in Jack's Beach a couple weeks ago doing something.
yeah, yeah. God, that makes me miss the commish. I feel
I
like he was a
know.
big DJ James Kennedy guy.
He just loved VPR.
Yeah, he did.
So,
Yeah.
and yeah. Huh, okay. That's interesting.
But I'll keep you
Uh,
updated on the Real Housewives
I'll
stuff,
tell you
TC.
what my guilty pleasure has been lately. I've been watching the Riggs hater series, uh,
Oh, yeah.
where he just gets a random person who's been shitting on him on the internet to play him
It's
in golf.
it's legitimately, it's a great idea.
Yeah, like,
It's a
we had talked about
fantastic
doing
idea for a
at
show.
one
Yeah.
point. I think yeah, it's provocative. I've been
Yeah.
digging it. And then I also digged, I sent it to you, I don't think you've watched it yet. I think Poosh watched it, The Hunt.
No, I haven't
It's
watched it. You have sent it to me.
I think they're 2 or 3 episodes in. I've watched the first 2. It's about the Jaguars draft, just their
Okay.
whole off-season program, and it's produced by the team, take it with a grain of salt and all that. It's freaking awesome. It's so well produced, it's so well edited, it's so well shot, like, I wanna run through a wall for Tony Baselli, like, he is the dude, Gladstone, he's got his punchable moments, but I think Gladstone's impressive. I'm all in.
We're in
Like,
on
I'm
Gladstone.
the Kool-Aid I'm drinking all the Kool-Aid on the Jags,
Okay.
man.
I'll watch that before the season kicks up. We're a little frustrated with the Bengies right now, with the Bengals front office, so I've been a bit checked out on the football front,
Yeah,
admittedly.
what's the latest? I
I
saw
haven't
that
heard well, Shamar Stewart left camp. I think they're just at an impasse, and the
which I've
Bengals
heard 2 different things on the Shamar Stewart stuff, that they're asking him to do something that nobody else is doing as far as guarantees. I don't think it's for injury, I think it's just for personal conduct,
yeah.
and then
At
I've
at
heard
first,
I've
I heard
heard
it was yeah,
yeah.
at first I heard it was something that, like, was totally out of left field, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, no wonder he's not signing." Now, I feel like the story is more it's language that other teams have with first round draft picks. And I'm not sure the Bengals have ever been able to get it into any of their first round contracts, but obviously want to start and have chosen this year to draw the line in the sand, which,
And then Trey's
with
back to the negotiating table, I've heard as well.
maybe I have no idea what's going on there either.
He doesn't seem
I'll
like he's got a ton of leverage.
No, and the Bengals, if there's one thing the Bengals are, it's stubborn, and they will wait people out. So I don't know.
Yeah. And he's a vet, like, it's not like he needs the reps in camp or anything like that,
No.
right?
I mean, all the coaches, all the other players are saying the right things. It just I don't know. It's kind of a
Just
shitty
a
cloud to be
distraction.
over the team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seems a bit needless.
Hey, I got a question for you. It's a little bit golf related, so I hope we don't get
Mm.
canceled or have to do a mea culpa, but I was just looking, like the tour announced their new CEO or their first CEO, Steamboat Jay is gonna exit probably out to Steamboat end of next year, probably earlier than that. Like he'll be out in Steamboat, but be on the
Just
payroll
gonna
still.
be up at the
Yeah.
cat, ripping
Yeah.
lips out on the
Ripping
creek.
exactly. But on that note, Brian Rolap, the new CEO, does not have a gin.
That is
Yeah, we
hard to
know
believe.
of. And so
Okay.
I'm like, "Man, like, do you not play golf or do you just have it under an alias?" And then I looked at Monahan. He's only posted 1 score since October 2023. And then I was talking I heard something about Hugh Freeze. He has 2 gins because he was playing over 200 rounds of golf a year.
So you had to, like, hide them somewhere?
He didn't want boosters and everybody to know when he was playing, and how much he was
Yeah.
playing. So, my question for you, do you think these people have gins under aliases?
Probably, right? It'd
Especially
be
if you wanna
weird
play the
for
game the right
roll-up.
way.
Yeah, it'd be weird for roll-up not to have a gin, not to be posting scores somewhere. The Hugh
Yeah.
Freeze thing, I get totally. Yeah, if you're in a job like that and don't want people to know how much golf you're playing, it makes sense. Yeah, that's interesting because there's no I'm just thinking, like, creating a gin, there's yeah, there's nothing to stop you, is there, from just
I don't think so. And
creating
I
one?
could see
I mean, you're
yeah.
paying the
You're like
you're paying the cost, but
you're pro at your local club. If you explain it to him, I'm sure you could get down with that, or
yeah,
she.
because you wanted to have a left-handed one.
I
You
did. I
remember
had a
that?
left-handed one under
Yeah,
Tron Carter. Yeah.
that's right.
So, I need to fire that back up. I'm kinda getting back to, like alright, we're transitioning.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The Steamboat
So,
J one, I don't know whether to, like, commend him, like, "Oh, yeah, you must be really working
yeah,
hard," but then it's like, "Well, what are we working hard on? What are the
yeah,
fruits of that labor?"
yeah. Amen. Speaking of working hard, Randy, we got some air travel logistics. We've been monitoring this just in the background. Lot going on. Imma throw a lot at you here.
Okay,
Yeah, you can just stop me when you hear something
okay,
interesting or whatever.
alright.
First of all, I announced it on our Slack. I think there's just a massive crisis going on with rental cars in this country. Every rental car or most rental car companies seem to just be the service is getting worse.
Mm.
It's just it seems really frayed. It's going downhill quickly, I think.
I'll tell you what, I've not yet encountered a worse rental car experience than Edinburgh Airport
Oh,
in
it's the
Scotland.
worst.
I've
And it's the worst part is the walk from the terminal
Yeah, you walk a
to the rental
mile and
car
a
place.
half, and then it's like, what was the reservation for? Did you guys not know I was coming? How why can't I just
Yeah,
grab the car? It's
yeah.
infuriating, but
And I found that just all over the UK, generally
yeah,
speaking. It's like
yeah,
it's like it's basically just this little reminder that you have a reservation and they have no record of it, basically.
that's
And
yes.
everything starts from scratch the
I
moment you
hope
walk
we're
into the facility.
I hope we're not heading down that road here at
Yeah.
TC.
Yeah. But I signed up for national, now an Emerald Club member. I'm gonna go like a pro, Randy. No free ads, but everybody
Was
I've
it
talked to has
was your
said
Uncle
you are
Juice a national guy? No,
no, he
he
was
was
a
a
Hertz
Hertz
guy.
guy.
That's why I've always
Wow,
been a Hertz guy.
breaking
And
with the family.
this is June 17th. I don't have to tell you what happened on June 17th. This is Uncle's Day today.
Your uncle.
And
Holy
AC's day.
overny.
Actually, there was a white Bronco for sale down the street, and Freddie and I stopped and looked at it. It was gorgeous. It was like an '89, I think. '89 white Bronco. It was gorgeous. I just don't have anywhere to keep it. Otherwise, I would have gotten it. It was
Yeah.
nice stick speed stick shift. It was gorgeous. So,
Have you
and
looked at any of
Alex signed off on it.
there's some new Broncos I've seen around here.
They're
Fun
sweet.
looking
You can get 'em
cars.
macked
Yeah,
out. Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, so no further questions this time. I
Okay.
will
We'll
You
respect your
know, I've
privacy.
always been a Hertz #1 club gold guy. Franchise has always been a Hertz guy. They were tied in with United, now they're not. I won't do Avis, so we'll see how National goes. They come highly, highly recommended. Neil's always been an Enterprise guy, never knew that they were owned by
That's because
National.
Neil likes to get picked up. Neil demands to be picked up. That's why he likes Enterprise.
I think he's still using the Google discount as well. So,
Okay, well,
uh, yeah.
yeah, we'll check in, in several months and see how this is working out for you.
Actually, you know what? The first time I ran with National was in Edinburgh, and I actually had a good experience there. It was pretty that's the only good experience I've ever had there last summer.
Yeah,
So,
I've done Hertz the last several times, and I
yeah,
mean, I generally like Hertz, but Edinburgh is just a
yeah.
shit show.
All right, going over to the air service side of things, we've got, there's reports that the Australians are trying to poach our air traffic controllers,
Okay,
recruiting them, given, possible big signing bonus. Air Services Australia, which is a government-owned kinda corporation that runs their air infrastructure over there. So, just monitoring that with everything going on at Newark these days and,
I mean, it'd be
you know,
interesting. I'm seeing the link you sent, comparable pay scales.
I would take it in a heartbeat if I was an air
If
traffic
I was
controller.
gonna say, if you're kind of a young single person, sure, yeah, I'll go over to
Less
Australia.
crowded skies,
Yeah,
better quality of life, yeah. Newark, we had some bad stuff going on there for a while. It sounds like the runway that was down is now back open, so
okay.
that's helping matters. I think my guy Scott Kirby was a little bit I think he was shitting all over the FAA and, everybody, and then he kinda had to walk it back because he spooked everybody so hard. And, I was looking at flights
Like, easy,
for an
easy.
upcoming trip and, yeah, it was, like, half the price to go through Newark, and there was just, seats wide open, so,
Okay.
um, but, yeah, they, all sorts of New York Times stories, Wind Talker sent over some stuff. Only 3 controllers on duty when it called for 14 would be, like, normal staffing, just
That's not great.
not
Yeah.
great.
No.
There was a big feature in the Wall Street Journal as well, which I really, really enjoyed this, the picture that that they that they posted along with that article. It was titled, "This air traffic controller just
Oh,
averted a midair collision. Now he's speaking out."
this
In the
guy
picture that they included, he looks like a cabaret singer mixed with like a,
yes.
glamorous pirate from the late
Yeah.
1800s. So the tweet this is from at Grace Persephone. I'm sorry, but this is so funny to me. Yeah, I got that picture of the air traffic controller boss, real fucking sexy, just like you wanted.
Yeah. I mean, that's truly what his shirt's spread open, you can see he's wearing, like, 3 or 4 chains. It's really not what anybody would expect if you're clicking on a story about an air traffic controller, but good for him,
Yeah.
honestly. He should
Uh,
go down to Australia and
yeah,
clean up.
right. I did see there was another close call with some Black Hawk helicopters in DC as well.
Yeah,
Not great. So we'll continue to monitor that. United and JetBlue, little tie up there, little not a merger, but kind of a strategic alliance.
okay.
You know, JetBlue gonna sell flight, like kind of tying in their booking. You can book flights on JetBlue. This is pending approval, but this fall, be able to book JetBlue flights and United, like earn and burn points through each, all that stuff. I think they're going to recognize premieres and all of that. And JetBlue gets slots at Newark. United will get slots at JFK, which they dropped in the mid 2010s.
I was curious. Yeah, it looks like some fairly inexpensive flights from, like, Denver out to, like, Boston or New York. Next time I head out that way, I might have to check out the JetBlue.
Yeah, JetBlue's. I don't know. Like they're kind of a shell of what they used to be, but they made some bad strategic choices. But I've never really had a bad experience on JetBlue. Or
The
and their
only time
Mint's supposed to be great. I've never flown it though.
Yeah. God, my one, I think, experience. So we fly JetBlue like Jacksonville up to New York maybe on our it might have
We
honestly
did,
been
to
on
go
our
to
way to
Ireland.
Cabot or
I
Ireland.
think
Yeah.
it was to go to Ireland because we flew did we fly Aer Lingus or something? I think
Yes,
we
we
flew Aer
did,
Lingus.
to
Yeah,
Shannon. That's
and they
right.
code share. Yeah.
And that flight attendant did he wanted to wish somebody a happy birthday, so we all put down our window shades and turned on our overhead lights and sang happy birthday. That was a
That
trip.
God, if anything's gonna piss you off,
I know.
it's that.
He caught me in the right mood because that did not piss me off, but yes, some days that would be, like, the last thing I would wanna do.
That's the issue, you know, I flew Southwest a couple weeks ago. It was good. I had no issues, but that's been the issue on Southwest for me. They're just too friendly.
Yeah, sometimes it's like, you don't need it.
Yeah.
It's like
I
the
don't
people
need
at
to
the
pick me
grocery
up.
store, right? Like, sometimes I nothing more than I want than to have a nice conversation with the checkout person, and then other times, there's, like, nothing I want
You
less
gotta
in this
read the room.
world. Yes, exactly.
You gotta read the
That's right.
room.
That's right.
So, what else? United unveiled their new Polaris product. Looks awesome, Randy. Looks fantastic. Massive screens. Meanwhile, American released their new flagship product, and people in the comments were equating the size of the screen to the size of Solly's TV.
When we know that's not good. That's
Really
not
small,
good. His little
really small.
his little 32-incher he likes to watch golf on.
So, what else we got? United American, they're in a big turf war at O'Hare. Great Wall Street
Mm,
Journal piece there. Actually, Randy, I booked a flight home from London to Dallas in October, direct on American, which
okay.
just it was by far the best option. No need for me to connect on that route. I needed to get to Dallas by a certain time, and so I'm very curious to see how that
How was your
experience is.
American experience with the Charlotte trip for the PGA a couple weeks back?
It was okay. I think, got me there. Solly's been spreading false news that if there's a direct available, I still won't take it, that I'll still connect, which is it's false. Now, if it was to Phoenix or something or the times didn't work, like if
Yeah,
there's an out, I'll take it. But
yeah.
it was fine. I think the biggest thing with Americans, every time I fly them, I feel like they offer money to fly to take another flight. Do they just overbook every single flight?
Mm,
Cody said the same thing happened to him.
yeah. It's interesting.
So, but yeah,
Have you ever
otherwise it
gotten
was
accepted
fine.
for one of those? For
I've done it with Delta before,
yeah.
back when Delta used to do it. But yeah, I think I got
But
like 8 or $900. So,
but yeah, if you do have a
it's great.
flexible
Yeah.
itinerary, yeah, it's a
Oh, it's a
no-brainer.
no-brainer. Yeah.
Mhm.
I remember I did it on the way home, like, way back in the day I think it was from Colorado. I think I got like 1,500 bucks plus for, like instead of flying from Denver to Atlanta, I flew Denver to Salt Lake to Atlanta or something like that. And
Mm,
they put me in first class. It was great. So,
yeah.
and you know what? American is enforcing the headset mute rule, which I
Then
applaud them
we
on.
gotta call a spade a spade. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. Good
Yeah.
on them. Yeah.
So, Randy, have you been watching the rehearsal?
It's on our to-do list. The wife is very interested and, yeah, I we have not watched it all yet.
I'm
We
2 or
we
3
watched
eps in. It's
okay,
funny. It's really good.
okay.
It's it's just as
I
good
feel
as
like
the
I've heard a
first
lot of stuff
season.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Okay.
we may have to do
We'll come back on
a
that. Yeah.
focus on that, yeah. There's some bad stuff happening. There was the Air India crash this week. I don't think they know what happened. Seemed like a
No.
something going on with the engines there. There
Dude,
was
how
a
crazy the one survivor, like,
I know,
that's I mean, god, the trauma that that person will go through too is
yeah.
unbelievable.
Just walked away from it. It was
Yeah.
wild. All sorts of stuff going on American. Their pilots are fed up in the lounge conditions at DFW. Oh, somebody reached out to me regarding a farting pit bull on their flight. Here, let me pull this up.
Not Pitbull who the Baldies are supporting. This is
Yeah, yeah.
a Pitbull dog. Okay.
This is from Kurt by way of email. He said the subject line is toxic defecation by pit bull service dog on American Airlines airplane.
No. Can't
TC
have that.
long time, first time. Da 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 da. Anyways, I received the following text from a close friend after he landed at LAX following a cross country flight from your favorite city of Charlotte. Boys, I just had the worst flight experience. So this is third hand at this point. Boys, I had the worst flight experience of my entire life. 7 a.m., 5-hour flight to LAX. Row in front of us. Family arrives with an 80-pound pit bull that is, quote, a service dog. Within minutes, the thing started farting and didn't stop. During hour two, we just started smelling this smell, and then the dad sprints to the flight attendants. The pit bull had diarrhea all over the floor.
Oh,
For
oh my
3
god.
hours, we stewed in the smell, and they couldn't clean it. They gave us literal bags of coffee grinds to sniff and try to cover the smell. We later learned the plane's deboarding was delayed because of a hazmat emergency. The emergency was the same dog's defecation the entire way up the jet bridge of the plane, meaning that the American flight crew left the tortured passengers in the plane to continue stewing in the scent instead of allowing them to simply evacuate the scene and dodge the jet bridge mess that they were already surrounded by in the first place. He sent through pictures as well, and yeah, just bad stuff.
There should be consequences for this family.
Like no fly list, 100%.
For a year, I
Yeah,
think I think
and
I'm not
permanent no
sure he
fly
would have
list
a
for the
problem with
dog.
that. And the dog's he's
Yeah,
out.
bad, bad.
Yeah, you just that's
Yeah. The,
ugh,
I got another one, the party doctor, he was flying home from Cabo. He was on a
okay.
guy's golf trip home from Cabo. They had a 4-hour delay at DFW. The next day, or not a single bag of the 8 guys makes it. The next day they get delivered, and they delivered every single bag to the wrong house. So they just mixed up the addresses on all of them, except the one guy who actually got his bag. They delivered it to his house in Orlando when he needed it here in Jacksonville. And,
Mm.
yeah, so that was that. Just, very, very typical of them. Did you see the big fire here in Jacksonville?
At
Massive
the
fire at the parking garage?
I did.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
crazy, crazy. We were already short on parking, so that side of the
How
garage
many
is
cars
closed
ended
now.
up getting, like, totaled or
I
destroyed?
think at
Do you
least
know?
30. Yeah,
Okay.
and I
God, I
think
would have
they've been
guessed a
able to,
lot.
like, get more out, but
Okay.
yeah. And
Yeah, that
then
seems like it's
yeah.
gonna be quite
So
a
I've been
project
Ubering to the
to build that.
airport,
Yeah.
and guess what happened last time I was coming home? Somebody stole my Uber.
Just, like, straight up hopped in
Just
and
straight like, yeah, like the guy, came down maybe 30 yards past me, and I had, like, my golf bag and, you know,
yeah.
2 other bags, so it took me a little bit to get down there, and somebody's just straight up, like, hops in the Uber and they drive away, and then I call the guy, and I get the alert on there that this Uber driver was hard of hearing, and he only communicates via text, so I couldn't call him. So then I'm just watching it go
Do you think
away.
he took the guy to, like, your house? What I don't understand how
Yeah,
what
it was
happens once
crazy.
you just hop in a different Uber?
Took me a while to, like, cancel it, and yeah, it
Yeah,
was a very bizarre situation. Wasn't thrilled with, like, the follow-up from Uber either, and then they're like, "Hey, you should do the PIN thing." So now I've got that turned on, but you
yeah.
can't start the ride until until the driver confirms your PIN or whatever. So, anyway, what else? Cathay Pacific served a 3-year-old wine on a flight. That was sick. They apologized, but,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's not like a wine that's, gets better with age.
We had 2 United planes clipped wings, and it happens. Hate seeing it. There was an American Airlines flight that turned around 12 hours into a 14-hour flight to Japan because of a
How is
mechanical
that
issue.
possible? That is a strange one to me.
Crazy. I don't even know how they would get back to, like, why wouldn't you just keep going, you know?
Yeah.
Almost there.
Oh, it was from New York, being 12 hours into its 14 yeah. So it had, like, just crossed out into the Pacific off the mainland and turned around. I'm looking at the little graphic. Okay, that makes more sense. I thought they would
Huh.
be, like, much closer to Japan.
They were just going the polar route
Yeah,
or
yeah.
okay.
They were up by,
Even
like,
then.
Alaska or something.
There was an American flight that they flew the wrong 787 to Italy. They flew the bigger version, the 787-9 instead of 787-8 into Naples.
That was sick. I saw that. Yeah.
They couldn't land it,
Yeah.
and then I think they realized, like, a couple hours beforehand, they're like, "Oh shit, this thing's too big for this runway, we gotta divert to Rome."
Yeah.
You would
Yeah.
think that, their systems would figure that out or flag that. There was a DoorDash delivery driver that ended up on the tarmac at Chicago O'Hare, uh, crossed over a bunch of runways. It
That's
just took the
amazing. Yeah.
what else we got? We all sorts of lost clubs for pro golfers. Nelly Corda was shitting all over Philadelphia.
Yo,
Said
she
it was
called
the worst
Philadelphia the worst
airport.
airport in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we reported on the Delta and United were charging more to singles versus they've since
Who
rescinded
did?
that. And
Yeah.
then last thing was just there was a British Airways flight attendant who was found naked and dancing in the business class lavatory after some alleged drug use.
That's fun.
Yeah. So, and then there was a big Atlantic piece on how America lost control of the seas. So, you know,
Okay.
I need to dig in there. I haven't read that one yet, but may need to flag the Huntsman on that one.
The Huntsman. God, I bet the Huntsman's neck deep in shit right now.
Yeah, it's crazy. Sports wise, how are your Reds doing, Randy?
Dude, the Reds are good, man. They just took 2 out of 3 from the Tigers. They won the Ohio Cup over the Guard Dogs. I feel like things are looking up in Reds country at the moment.
Ellie's yeeting.
Ellie is absolutely yeeting his last, like, well, I think he's homered in, like, 4 straight games. His last 30 games are, I mean, it's got an OPS up, like, Aaron Judge territory. Yeah, it's great. The only drawback, Hunter Green, he's got this groin issue, so he's gonna be out a little bit, but, I think Solly's even feeling a little bit optimistic. We'll see.
I don't think. I mean, you talk to him, and it sounds like
He's
they're
already
20
killed
games
him
below
off.
500.
I
Yeah.
know, I know. I'm not sure if he is taking any joy from this, but Ellie alone is just fun. I mean, if he is indeed kinda taking a leap here offensively, it's gonna be a ton of fun.
Speaking of Ellie, you and me consummated a trade.
Yeah,
Uh,
not for Ellie. Ellie's on your
yeah,
fantasy team. You traded for him earlier,
yeah.
but it was great to do
I'm kind of
business with
mailing
you.
in this season, and not kind of mailing in. I am mailing in this season. I went all in last year, and I
This
don't
was
have the
th
horses this
this
year.
always felt like a rebuilding year for you.
Yeah. So now I've got two seconds, two thirds, uh, keepers out the ass. I'm
Yeah.
in a good place right now. But it was great doing business with you.
Are you
So
surprised how do you feel like yourself getting into baseball broadly, or are you just like, you're obviously super into, the fantasy league. Ha
I don't watch
has
the games. I
Okay.
refuse to watch the games, but
Do you pull
I like
the box
following
scores
it
at
though.
least?
Yeah, I like the box
Yeah,
scores. The only thing I don't like is how specialized everything is now. So
yeah,
matchup related, and so, like, just let the boys play.
yeah.
Just trot your best 9 out and
Amen to that,
you
TC.
know?
Yeah.
So,
Amen.
just too much, you know, too much, gerrymandering of, matchups and lineups and,
Yeah. Hey, can we get
those
some
night
starting pitchers that, can pitch deep into a game?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
what I'd like.
exactly. Like, it's a lost like, everybody just throws as hard as possible now, right?
Yeah. Everybody's
So,
max effort from the
yeah.
get-go.
Hey, what'd you think of the Red Sox trade?
Ooh, yeah, that was a bit of a surprise. I mean, I love Devers' bat. I think
He's a
serious
malcontent though,
questions, he
right?
might be a malcontent. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't seem like the Red Sox got commensurate value. They're trying to say maybe addition by subtraction. I find that a little tough to buy into.
You've
Pooch
always been a
thrilled.
Kyle Harrison guy, right?
I like Kyle Harrison. I thought he was an interesting left-handed arm. As a centerpiece for this trade, I don't think it's great.
Yeah.
Red Sox fans that, like on our refuge message board are freaking out. They hate management, so
Well, it's the same management as
my
the
heart
PGA
goes out to
Tour
them.
at
Yeah,
this
yeah.
point.
FSG.
Yeah, Sam Kennedy and the gang.
Yeah.
Finals. Do do the Thunder
Ye
have it? Los Thunder, El Thunder? Do they have it
yeah, I'd be shocked
wrapped
if the
up?
Pacers can win too. Thunder won a nice game last night. Jalen Williams, Santa Clara Jalen Williams had a awesome game. Yeah, the Thunder just,
Yeah.
man, they're good. They might be good
It's been an
for
interesting series to watch though. Enjoyed it.
yeah. I mean, just like
Both series, this one and the Stanley Cup.
I did not watch game 5. My parents were out here and we were watching game 4, the one that went to overtime and Edmonton won. That was a great hockey game.
Was that the one
I'm
where they came back? They were down like
Yeah,
3 or 4 nothing. That was crazy.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. And then Florida came back late to force overtime. Yeah, that was a good game. I have to watch. I think that game's we're recording Tuesday. That game's tonight, right? Game 6,
I believe so.
I
Yeah,
think. I have to
yeah.
watch that. Yeah,
What
NBA Thunder, man. This could be the start of a dynasty. We'll see. They're
where do you think
just
KD goes?
ah,
What I saw of Houston and San Antonio are his
yeah, I guess
preferred.
Houston's got a lot of trade pieces they could send
Yeah.
back. I mean,
Houston
San
wants
Antonio does
Giannis.
too. Yeah. I guess that would be my guess. Man, I think KD needs to start owning a little bit of, like,
Thank
it's been a
you.
disaster in Brooklyn, it's been a disaster in Phoenix, like, I don't that's not
Wasn't
nothing.
exactly warm and fuzzy when he left Golden State. Like,
Yeah, I know. He's obviously a Hall of Famer, one of the best ever, has rings, but, uh, I'm
yeah,
not super impressed with the last, like, 3, 4 years of KD, if we're being honest.
yeah. What'd you make of the Magic Grizz trade?
That was an interesting one. Good for the
Bane
Magic for,
for
like,
yeah,
going for it. Yeah, Desmond Bane to Orlando. They desperately, desperately needed three-point shooting. I think they put together the worst team three-point percentage in, like, over a decade this past year. So, he
seems like a
feels
bad recipe in 20
Yeah,
2025.
exactly. He feels a clear need for him. The analysis I read was like, yeah, it's a lot of first round picks, but if the Magic are as good as they're hoping, you know,
Like
it's they'll
25th
hopefully be like
pick.
late
Yeah.
first. Yeah, so it might not be that. The interesting thing, I was just listening to Simmons actually break down the trade, and he raised the angle that I hadn't quite thought about, which was is Memphis kind of is this a one off for Memphis because they can't pay their big 3, or is this the start of Memphis kind of waving a white flag the next 3, 4 years as Oklahoma City and you figure like San Antonio as some of these like teams look to have a real grip on the Western Conference, which I don't know the answer to that, but I had not thought of that angle from the Grizz's perspective, I guess.
It's almost like it gives them options. They can do both. They can
Yeah,
wait and choose,
yeah,
you know. I mean, similarly, I'm fascinated to see what the Celtics do
I know.
with I mean, God, talking
With
about Simmons and just,
yeah,
how to
well, with Tatum probably missing all next year and
yeah.
it kind of blows open the East. I feel like the East is gonna be wide open next year.
And then what the Knicks who do you think the Knicks hire?
Great question. I have no
It
idea.
sounds
I
like
don't know.
possibly the guy that the Grizz fired
Taylor,
mid-season.
yeah, what's that guy's name? Taylor something. I mean, he seems good. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. Mike Malone is a
That was
name.
the other guy. Yeah, Malone was
I don't know if he'd be a fit.
because what, he's got a relationship with the GM, Leon Rose,
Ye
and yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I know. I was kinda like, "Damn, I would take Tom
They've been
Thibodeau
turned
in
down by
Sacramento."
so many people. Yeah. Yeah, Tibbs would be great. Do you think all right, going back to Dick Cheney, Tyrese Halliburton,
Of course.
do you think that the Kings made the right decision in that? I still think they do,
Uh,
or they
yes and
did.
no. I mean, I think now with how Fox played out, I think if they could go back in time, maybe you just try to trade Fox initially and keep
Yeah.
and build around Halliburton. Given where they were at the time, I did not have a problem with it, and I don't think I do still, because it just he and Fox didn't really work together. They didn't make each other better. Like they were 2 very good players, but it wasn't quite working. So, yeah, I that's kind of a yes no answer, but I think with hindsight and knowing how Fox and him leaving, like, yeah, maybe, hey, should we just trade De'Aaron and let's make Tyrese the guy? I think would have been the better the better route. But it's also like why the Kings are the Kings. Like their ownership, been reading some bad stuff. TC,
Yeah.
it's
Bad.
yeah, they might be going back into basketball hell here over the next several years. It's not good.
Are you gonna stick it out with them?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I mean,
You could be
you
like
know,
going
I
into
feel like we're not
Hawks
committed.
territory,
I know. I
you know?
know.
Where I mean, the Hawks, they've cleaned house in the front office, and seems like they've brought in some adults now from a few other franchises, and, I like Quinn Snyder, but man, like, Trae Young stinks, and they just don't have any other assets. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
the
so I
Knicks, it
don't know
was
what they're gonna do.
Taylor Jenkins is the
Jenkins, that's what it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
Yes, 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 yes.
Uh, which, yeah, speaking of shitty ownership, they should just hire Gottlieb. They should bring Gottlieb in. Gottlieb and,
Was Gottlieb in the news? What was he doing?
yeah, he was trying to get his team into the basketball tournament, the TBT.
TVT?
Yeah,
Interesting. Huh.
yeah. So,
So I
uh
just Googled this Grizz, and it's not about the Desmond Bain trade, but they have, Bovada, which is not FanDuel, we're a FanDuel shop, but Ja Morant, if the Grizz do trade Ja Morant, the Sacramento Kings are currently the 2nd favorite landing spot behind Toronto to land Ja Morant.
huh.
That's interesting.
I wonder what kind of trouble Ja could get into in Sacramento.
Sure enough. Yeah.
Uh, huh.
Him with
Well, I
Doug
think
Christie, that
yeah,
would be fun. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, shit, it's kind of a cool buy low lottery
Yeah,
ticket,
for
right?
sure, and they need a point guard now, that's
Yeah,
for damn sure.
yeah. Anything else big? I feel like we
TC,
covered a lot of ground.
I know, mile wide, inch deep, but that's the way we do it here. No, I don't have much else for you. This was fun. Felt like between last week, this week, we're, emptied
Covered
the
down.
chamber a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I think trap. Yeah, I think uh, might be a little bit before we've got another chop, but we'll try to
Mhm.
squeeze something in there here along the way. So
Yeah, it'll be in July after the holidays, but
yeah.
we'll get it done.
All right. Well, good shit, man. And yeah, keep us posted on that 22-hour drive each way.
I will.
I
I
think
will.
everybody's gonna be fascinated to see
Yeah.
how that goes, where it goes.
The
You
dog's
know,
great in the car. What I'm worried about is, how many bathroom breaks for the humans, but we'll see. We'll see.
Gatorade bottles, man.
Yeah, yeah. All right,
All
TC,
right,
good
crack
stuff.
on.
Until next time, cheers.